Hi, today we're going to be reading the book, Flap Your Wings. And as we're reading this book, we're looking for three wonderful words: flap, beetles, and centipedes. So you might have already noticed that the word flap is right here in the title. Now, flap is one of those crazy words that has two meanings. A flap can be a thin piece of something that covers something else up and moves back and forth. Like you might have a flap that comes down over your pocket, that covers up your pocket. But this isn't that kind of flap. We can tell by the pictures and the other words in here that this word flap means moving your arm or wing up and down when you're flying or preparing to fly. So when we say this word flap your wings, we want to think about a bird or really any creature, even a human, moving their arms or wings up and down because they want to fly. Flap Your Wings by P.D. Eastman. Flap Your Wings by P.D. Eastman. An egg lay in the path. A boy came down the path. He saw the egg. He looked around. He saw flamingos and frogs, and turtles and alligators. "Whose egg is this?" he called, but nobody answered. Then the boy looked up. He saw an empty nest in a tree. "Here's an egg without a nest," he said. "And there is a nest without an egg." The boy climbed the tree. He put the egg in the nest. Then he went away. Mr. and Mrs. Bird came home. They were surprised to find an egg in their nest. "That's not our egg," said Mrs. Bird. "Look how big it is."
"But it is an egg. It's in our nest," said Mr. Bird. "If an egg is in your nest, you sit on it and keep it warm. It doesn't matter whose egg it is."
"All right," said Mrs. Bird. "But I wonder what kind of bird will come out of that egg." They took turns keeping the egg warm. First, Mrs. Bird sat on it. Then Mr. Bird sat on it. And sometimes, because it was so big, they both sat on it. One day, Mrs. Bird heard a squeaking sound. "Squeak, squeak, squeak." "Help!" she said. "The egg is squeaking." "Squeak, squeak, squeak." Mr. Bird came back to the nest. He listened to the egg.
"The egg is not squeaking," he said. "It is our baby that is squeaking. He is ready to come out of the egg."
Mr. and Mrs. Bird waited. Squeak, 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 scratch. And there was the baby. Mr. Bird was very excited.
"It's Junior!"
he shouted.
"What a beautiful baby!"
Junior opened his mouth. It was a big mouth. It was full of teeth. "That's the funniest looking baby I ever saw," said Mrs. Bird. "Something is wrong. I don't think he is our baby at all."
"He's in our nest, so he must be ours," said Mr. Bird. "His mouth is open. That means he's hungry. When your baby is hungry, you feed him."
Mr. and Mrs. Bird went away to get some food for Junior. Mr. Bird brought a pink worm. Mrs. Bird brought a green one. Junior ate both worms in one gulp. Then he opened his mouth wide again. "We have to get Junior lots more to eat," said Mr. and Mrs. Bird. Hour after hour, day after day, they brought food for Junior. Mrs. Bird got berries and cherries. She got butterflies and caterpillars. She got dragonflies and mosquitoes. She got ladybugs and tiger beetles. There's that word, beetles. Remember, a beetle is an insect that has hard wings. The illustrator and author did something really cool here. So P.D. Eastman made sure that the pictures matched up against the words. So here where it says Mrs. Bird got berries and cherries, those things are in order. Mrs. Bird, there's her picture, got berries and cherries. So that goes like that pattern all through here. So we can look and see here what the tiger beetle is. She got ladybugs, we know what those are, and tiger beetles. So that means these must be the tiger beetles. So now we know what a beetle looks like. She got ladybugs and tiger beetles. Mr. Bird got crickets and spiders. He got grasshoppers and snails. He got red ants. He got black ants. He got centipedes too. There's the word centipedes. A centipede is a creature that's not an insect because it doesn't have 6 legs. It has lots of legs. Centipedes actually have 30 to 354 legs. So this little creature here is a centipede. He got centipedes too.
What kind of bird eats so much? Said Mrs. Bird. It doesn't matter, said Mr. Bird. He's still hungry, and we have to feed him.
Weeks went by. Junior never stopped eating, and he never stopped growing. He grew bigger and bigger and bigger.
Finally, Junior got so big that Mr. Bird said, "It's too crowded up here. Junior has to leave the nest. It's time for him to fly away."
"You are right," said Mrs. Bird. "The time has come. We must show him how to fly." Mrs. Bird pushed and pushed. Mr. Bird showed Junior how to fly.
"Jump into the air like this,"
he said,
"and flap your wings."
There's that word flap. Remember what it means. Mr. Bird wants Junior to flap his wings. So he wants him to move his arms or wings up and down to fly. Think about what that word means as we continue reading the story. Junior got ready. He took a big breath and jumped. Up, up, up into the air he went. "Flap your wings," yelled Mrs. Bird.
"Flap your wings,"
yelled Mr. Bird. Junior flapped and flapped, but it didn't do any good. He didn't have any wings. Down, down, down went Junior, down into the water. Splash! It was cool and wet in the water. It was just right for Junior. "You know," said Mrs. Bird, "I don't think Junior was a bird at all."
"It doesn't matter," Mr. Bird said. "He's happy now, and just look at him swim."
I hope you enjoyed that book, Flap Your Wings. So now we know about flapping, we know about beetles, and we know about centipedes. Try to use one of those words with your family today.